Fast, focused, and fearless. Here are the hour's latest stories. I'm Denise Tan. We go straight to the Senate ahead of its expected convening as a Duterte impeachment court. And for the latest, we have mobile journalist Merimon Reyes. Merimon, kamusta yung sitwasyon dyan at ilang senador na nga ba ang nasa session ngayon?
Denise, good afternoon. Sa ngayon, hindi pa natin hahagilap yung ibang mga senador na bumababa dito kasi kanina lang bago tayo makapwesto, parehong majority at minority blocks ng Senado ay nagsasagawa ng kani-kanilang mga caucus. Ang nasabi kanina sa isang press conference ni Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, kung siya raw ang tatanungin, ang ipaprioritize daw talaga ay yung organization ng Senado, yung committee chairmanships, and then magko-convene sila bilang impeachment court. Natanong ng media kanina kung kumusta ba ngayon yung umuugong kasi na sinasabi may kudita raw na niluluto, kung matibay pa rin ba ang Senate Majority Block ngayon. Ang sabi dito ni SP Cayetano, to his knowledge, kaninang umaga raw tsaka nitong over the weekend, intact pa naman daw sila, okay pa naman daw sila, pero grabe raw ang pressure na meron daw ang tumatapik sa ilang mga miyembro ng majority mula daw sa minority, meron pang nagiging offer ng term extension, and kaya ayaw magsalita ni SP Cayetano ng tapos. Kaya kung sakali man daw, na bagaman ito yung kanyang nais mangyari, mga priorities, kung sakaling sa sesyon na magsisimula ngayong puntong 3:00 ng hapon, meron daw mag-motion for a leadership change o ito yung tinatawag na kudeta, hindi raw niya ito haharangin at ito raw ay kanilang magiging priority. At ang sinasabi pa ni SP Cayetano, kung ang naibigay lang daw sa kanya ay yung 8 days na termino bilang Senate President, tatanggapin niya raw ito. Pero kung maaari mabigyan pa nga raw siya, mas maganda kung mas matagal daw siya makakapagsilbi bilang isang Senate President. Denise.
Pakita lang natin, we're actually showing live footage, images from inside the Senate, where the senators are preparing now for the session. Sige, Merimon, okay, kanina nadinig nga natin si now Senate President, or still Senate President, Alan Peter Cayetano. Meron bang openly, alam niya, diniscuss niya na meron nga daw na kumakausap dun sa mga mayorya, pero openly meron na bang naglalobby for or against the possible leadership change?
Kanina, Denise, nakasalubong ng media natin si Senate President Pro Tempore Loren Legarda. Ang nasabi niya, focus lang daw sila sa kanilang trabaho. Whereas ito naman, for example, si Senator Joey Villanueva, also from the majority, ang sabi niya, hindi raw siya pupunta sa caucus kung hindi raw siya mananatiling miyembro ng majority. So far, itong mga nakapanayam natin na mga senador mula sa mayorya, yung nabibigyan nilang katotohanan, yung sinasabi ni SP Cayetano na intact ang majority. Over the weekend kasi, nabuksan din ni SP Cayetano na meron na nga raw nangyayaring pagluluto ng kudeta, pero during that time, sinasabi niya, mukhang hindi na ito tutuloy, mukhang umuurong. Pero ayaw nga again magsalita ng tapos ni SP Cayetano. Ang lumulutang kasi mga pangalan na posibleng maging maluklok kung sakali man magkaroon ng kudeta. Sina Senator Kiko Pangilinan, even si former Senate President Tito Soto, former Senate President Chis Escudero, at saka si Senator Mig Zubiri. Si Senator Ping Lacson, nagsalita na siyang wala raw katotohanan yung sinasabing tinatapik itong si Escudero for the Senate leadership. So that's -1. Si Senator Kiko Pangilinan, naglabas na rin siya ng kanyang statement na sinasabi hindi niya raw tatanggapin yung Senate presidency. So ang inaantabayanan natin ngayon, kung sakali man, sino ang ilalobby para sa kudeta o kaya sa pagpapalit ng liderato, at kung sakali, sino-sinong numero ang kukumpleto doon sa at least 13 votes para magkaroon ulit ng bagong majority and magkaroon ng bagong liderato.
Okay, that's it for now. We thank you again for your time and for your updates. That was our mobile journalist, Merimon Reyes. One News Now will... So again, we are looking at images in the Senate for the plenary session. And that's the images we're looking at right now. At this point, we take...
Padaluyin ninyo ang katarungan sa Pilipinas na parang ilog at ang katwiran na parang batis na hindi natutuyo. Sa inyong habag ang paglilitis na ito, gawin niyo pong simula ng pagbabago tungo sa katapatan, pananagutan, paghilom ng aming bayan. Sa inyong banal na pangalan, kami ay nananalangin. Amen.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan. The Servus Dei Vocal Ensemble will lead us in the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. The group will also render a song entitled Bagani after singing the National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, pera sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bagaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding, ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pang may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na luwan, hatid pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pa, may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you very much, Servus Dei Vocal Ensemble. Much appreciated. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Acting Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 63rd session, May 13, 2026, and consider...
I'm sorry, Majority
Wala pa
Leader.
pala.
We'll do
Sorry.
the roll call first.
May we
Yes, my apologies.
move for the rolling of the... Roll call, please, Mr. President. I move to call the roll, Mr. President. Sorry.
There's no objection. We will call the roll.
Roll call of members. Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camille, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri. The Senate President is present.
With 23 senators, Senator Bato is absent? Okay, with 23 senators present, the chair declares presence of a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we proceed, may I just be allowed to recognize guests from the gallery, guests of Senator Ligarda, Mayor Mar Mission of San Remigio Antique. Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, we would like to, first of all, put on record our sincerest thanks and gratitude for the valuable contribution of our Secretary General of the Senate. And I've seen firsthand his sacrifices and willingness to walk the extra mile just to preserve the dignity of the institution. So we just want to put that on record.
At the right time, I think we should honor him with a resolution.
Yes.
And is he also the first to be a SecGen of both the House and the Senate? And to be fair, he actually resigned right away. I asked him to continue. And actually, I'm asking him to continue in a different manner. But, dear colleagues, the SecGen Mendoza did a great service to both houses.
We
and I'd like
wanted to put on
recognize.
record, the name is Dong Mendoza,
Yes.
former congressman of the great province of Batangas. And with that, Mr. President, and following the relinquishment of the position by our former Secretary of the Senate, I move that we proceed to the election of a new Secretary of the Senate. So move, Mr. President.
Yes. I consulted the minority leader, and because the SecGen will also be the clerk of court of the impeachment proceeding. So there are no objections. We will proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in accordance to Rule 2, Section 2 of the Rules of the Senate, may I respectfully nominate Jose Luis Garcia Montales as the new Secretary of the Senate. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none.
Thank you, Mr. President. And there being no other nominations, may I respectfully move that the period of nominations be closed. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none. The motion is approved. Pursuant to the rules of the Senate, there being no other candidate for the position of Senate Secretary, the voting will be viva voce. Those voting for Attorney Montales, please say aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Attorney Jose Luis Montales. Those who are against, say nay. Okay. Thank you very much for. The ayes have it. And Jose Luis Montales is hereby declared as proclaimed as the Secretary of the Senate, the second to have been both SecGen of the House and the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I move for a minute suspension to allow our new Senate Secretary to ascend the rostrum and take his oath. So move, Mr. President.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Pagitan po ng flag. Yeah. Ito po, sir. Pakiano yung...
Wala si Ses. Wala si Ses. Konti.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I state your full name.
I, Jose Luis Garcia Montales,
Having been elected to the position of Secretary of the Senate,
having been elected to the position of Secretary of the Senate,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
the duties of my present position,
the duties of my present position,
and of all others I may hereafter
and of all others I may hereafter
hold under the Republic of the Philippines,
hold under the Republic of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will obey the laws,
that I will obey the laws,
legal orders, and decrees
legal orders, and decrees
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
and maintain true faith and allegiance
and maintain true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of the Philippines,
to the Republic of the Philippines,
and that I impose this obligation
and that I impose this obligation
upon myself voluntarily,
upon myself voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, Pia.
Kausapin natin.
Diyan na yung sana. Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Is there any objection? If not, the motion is approved.
Okay, ready na?
So messages from the House of Representatives.
Messages from the House of Representatives. Letter from the House of Representatives transmitting to the Senate 27 copies of Committee Report number 261 on House Resolution number 989 titled Resolution Setting Forth the Articles of Impeachment against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte, together with the annexes thereto, and 27 USB devices containing file copies of the above.
Rules.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Letter from the House of Representatives transmitting to the Senate the sealed box containing the documents from the Bureau of Internal Revenue relative to the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that, in accordance with Section 16, Rule 6 of the Rules of Procedure in the impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives, 20th Congress, Representatives Luis Ro, Ridon, Gutierrez, Zamora, Defensor, Diokno, De Lima, Bagao, Flores, Suwan, and Chua have been elected as prosecutors in the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Referred to the Committee on Rules. Acting Majority Leader.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr.
The
President,
Minority Leader is recognized.
I heard, and we saw the notice, the message from the House of Representatives, and you have referred the articles of impeachment to the Committee on Rules. May we know if we have already constituted the Committee on Rules?
The Committee on Rules is in the acting capacity. So in accordance with Section 19, the same members and Senator Villanueva. Actually, for your information, Minority Leader, we were in caucus and wanted to meet also the minority to start reading the committee chairmanships, but we thought it prudent to convene the court first. And then when we remove our, after we convene the court and suspend, we can go back into session to start reading the committees.
So I take it that right now the chairman of the Committee on Rules is in an acting capacity.
Yes, Senator Villanueva.
And
in
the
acting.
membership at this point would only be the ex officio members.
And the members before all positions were declared
holdover
vacant.
from the previous,
yes, in accordance with Section 19.
Will you refresh me with Section 19, Your Honor, Mr. President? Because
Yes, yes. And to be fair,
because in that
Senator
case-
Pangilinan has a interpretation question. That's why we referred this to the Committee on Rules.
Okay.
The chairman and the members of the permanent committee shall commence in the exercise of their duties upon election. They shall cease when their successors shall have been elected or designated. So since we have not yet elected or designated their successors, except for the majority leader, our interpretation that it continues. But Senator Pangilinan did bring up the seeming conflict that if it's all seats vacant, then it's
Yes,
vacant.
precisely.
But then my initial statement was that you harmonize the rules, and if you harmonize it with pragmatically with what's happening, then we should never have a complete vacancy. Having said that, it is with the Committee on Rules, but I don't think Senator Villanueva scheduled it for hearing until we have the permanent members, just to be sure. And we hope to start doing that this afternoon.
we will accept that for now, Mr.
Yes.
President.
Thank you, Minority Leader.
We make note of the manifestation.
And,
Thank you.
and I will note and recognize not only your observations today, but the observation of Senator Pangilinan. And if we need to clarify later on, it'll be a good opportunity for us to look at the rules, given the 1392 present setup, unless we are overtaken by events. Yes. Okay. Majority Leader?
Correction, Mr. President, 1311.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been corrected because Senator Subiri and Senator JV said that they are independent, but same with Senator Pia and I, we started out independent, and then Senator Subiri asked us if for the purposes of we can join the majority. So it's their choice if they remain minority or they join the majority, or if you can get 2 more members, then you will be the new majority.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I?
Of course. Former Senate President Zubiri.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to be associated with the minority bloc, Mr. President, if I may. Binatigos nga ako nila, sabi nila na ako'y nag-fence sitting at nag-abstain. Nag-abstain lang ako para have a free hand to vote on which issue that I think is important for the Filipino people. But when it comes to the organization, I would like to associate myself with the minority, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Zubiri. Yes. So, Senator Ejercito would also like to manifest.
Yes, first of all, Mr. President, I'd like to thank Mr. President for the trust and honor that I was offered to become the majority leader. But as I have mentioned to you personally, that as of this time, I would rather maintain my independence and with what is happening all over, I think I will be able to perform my tasks very well and my pet programs very well as an independent. But again, nonetheless, Mr. President, I would like to thank you for the trust and confidence. Being majority leader is a very, of course, it's one of the most powerful, we would say, position in the Senate. But I guess I have, at this point, I would like to maintain my independence.
And
Mr. President.
I also understand. I also recognize that you will say that you will be our number 14, but until the time that we vote, any member, we have to respect their decision and always ascribe good faith. So we will continue to be good friends despite the political divisions or the nomenclature of who is in the majority or the minority. So for the purposes of today to the future, and unless a change is made, will you be an independent or will you be with the minority?
Yes, for now, Mr. President, I'll be with the minority.
Okay.
But again, I would like to thank you for
Yes.
that and for the respect. And we will all still be friends, no matter what. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you, Senator Ejercito. So the Secretariat has that noted, and we can now compute the membership at a 13-11 proportion, so that we do not, we're not accused of any delay. Acting Majority Leader, what's your pleasure
Yes, Mr.
about the
President.
articles of
Yes,
impeachment?
yes,
that has
Mr.
been
President. Just to
referred?
put on record, as Senator JV made mention, this his statement is for the purposes of proportional representation in the membership of committees. Also, Mr. President, Senator Lacson asked this representation to put also on record the membership of the Senate Committee on Rules or ex officio members would have to be the new ex officio members. So just to put
Yes.
that on record, Mr. President.
That's a correct observation
Yes.
from Senator Lacson.
Thank you. Mr. President, with the permission of the body, the articles of impeachment have been referred to the Committee on Rules. May I respectfully move to refer the articles of impeachment to the impeachment court. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There's no objection. It is so referred.
Mr. President, may I move that we suspend the session to convene the impeachment court. So move, Mr. President.
If there's no objection, we will suspend and convene the impeachment court. The impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte is hereby declared open. The clerk of court is directed to make the proclamation.
All persons are commanded to keep silent under pain of penalty while the Senate is sitting in trial on the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte.
The clerk of court will please call the roll.
Roll call of members. The Honorable Senator Judges Aquino, Cayetano Pia, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Escudero, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lacson, Lapid, Legarda, Marcoleta, Marcos, Padilla, Pangilinan, Soto III, Tulfo Erwin, Tulfo Rafi, Villanueva, Villar Camille, Villar Mark, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 senator judges present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Senator Judge Villanueva.
Yes, Mr. President, Sir Presiding Officer, may we request Senator Judge Camille Villar to ascend the rostrum to administer the oath of the Senate President.
Between the
Anytime.
Please raise your right hand. Impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. I state your name.
I, Alan Peter Compañero Shram Cayetano,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte,
that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte,
now pending,
I
will do impartial justice according to the Constitution.
I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution
and laws of the Philippines.
and the laws of the Philippines.
So help me God.
So help me God. At this time, I will administer the oath of each of the senator judges in the chamber in conformity with Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 6 of the Philippine Constitution and Rule 3 of the Senate Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trials. May we request everyone to rise. Same oath, no? Same oath. So, same. Same oath, no? Same oath. So, same. I state your name. Solemnly swear that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, now pending, I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. So help me God. Senator Judge Villanueva.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Thursday, May 14, 2026, the House of Representatives, through Secretary General Cheloy Garafil, personally delivered to the Senate the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, pursuant to Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution, and Rule 4, Section 11 of the Rules of Procedure in the impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives. Earlier today, the articles of impeachment were referred to the Committee on Rules and consequently to the Senate sitting as an impeachment court. Mr. President, the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte with its annexes are now presented to the court for proper disposition and action.
The same is duly noted and made of record. For the record, resolution number 39 or the rules of procedure on impeachment trial shall continue to apply. We further note that Rule 6 thereof, which provide that the provisions of the rules of the Senate and the revised rules of court shall apply suppletorily whenever applicable. The court having been organized, and the articles of impeachment having been presented, let a writ of summons be issued to the Vice President, Sara Zimmerman Duterte, who is directed to file her answer within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt, pursuant to Article 7 of the Rules of Procedure of Impeachment Trial. She is directed to appear before the Session Hall of the Senate of the Philippines upon notice. The Sergeant at Arms is directed to serve the written summons on Vice President Sara Duterte along with a copy of the articles of impeachment. The prosecution may file a reply within a non-extendable period of 5 days from receipt of the answer. The parties may file their pleadings and annexes in person or through electronic mail. All other pleadings, motions, similar papers intended for the consideration of this court may be filed electronically. We will circulate the specific instructions on the format for the pleadings and manner of electronic filing for the guidance of all parties.
Mr. President.
Senator Judge.
Thank you.
Soto.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. President, may we be clarified when you say 10 days, is that working days or calendar days?
Calendar days.
Calendar days, and including the 5 days for the prosecution to respond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. The clerk of court is hereby authorized to calendar the case for pre-trial and issue the corresponding notices to the parties after the last pleading is filed. Upon conclusion of the pre-trial, the trial proper shall commence on a date and time fixed by the court, of which the parties shall be duly notified. I approached the members of the minority of the Senate, and then later on I will approach the senator judges that we will fix the calendar together, and in pursuit of impartial justice, we will come up with a impeachment calendar that is fair to the prosecution and to the defense, and will allow us to continue to function in the legislative side of our work. Any other matter? Is there no other matter? The session is suspended.
We're bringing you the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay. Some stories that we're watching this Monday, May 18. The leadership change at the Senate, as reported the past few days, has not come to pass. As of this moment, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano remains Senate President. Earlier, though, Senator Mig Zubiri and JV Ejercito said they would both like to be associated with the minority bloc, both after abstaining from the vote last week that ousted Senator Tito Soto as SP. The Senate has formally convened as an impeachment court for the trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. 23 senators minus Bato de la Rosa have taken their oath as senator judges. The Senate has also summoned the VP and has directed the defense and prosecution panels 10 calendar days from receipt of summons to submit their responses. Meantime, Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clabano says the Senate has received the preventive suspension order against Sergeant-at-Arms Mau Aplasca. The Upper Chamber Secretary also received a subpoena seeking CCTV footage of the May 13 shooting incident inside the Senate institution. Over the weekend, Ombudsman Boying Remulla said the Senate turned away their process server despite having prior knowledge of the orders. Remulla had slapped Aplasca with 6 months preventive suspension without pay over his discharge of a firearm during the Senate shooting last week. Aplasca earlier admitted to firing the first warning shot at NBI personnel in a Senate-adjacent structure of the GSIS building. And the Office of the Solicitor General has asked the Supreme Court to authorize the arrest of Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. In its comment filed before the Supreme Court on Saturday, May 16, Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe branded the senator, quote-unquote, a fugitive from justice, evading lawful process. Also, the Senate Solgen urged the SC to dismiss de la Rosa's petition for a temporary restraining order, and saying, we quote, until he submits himself to lawful authorities, he should not be allowed to seek any relief from the courts. De la Rosa is, of course, the subject of an ICC arrest warrant over his alleged role in the Duterte drug war. Still on the Dutertes, over at The Hague, the Office of the Prosecutor proposed starting former President Rodrigo Duterte's trial on November 30, 2026. This date remains tentative because the defense has requested a delay to evaluate Duterte's health. The trial chamber 3 will discuss the definitive schedule during a status conference on May 27 of 2026. Duterte is accused of crimes against humanity before the International Criminal Court, or ICC. And Malacanang has announced the appointment of Kim Robert De Leon as the new Budget and Management Secretary. He takes over from acting DBM Secretary Rolando Toledo, who moves over to the GSIS Board of Trustees. De Leon is a former DBM Undersecretary and has become the youngest DBM head and the youngest Marcos cabinet member at under 40 years old. Well, joining us today is Storycon's resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas. Wala pa akong sinasabi, tumatawa na siya. I don't know what's so funny about that.
Parang yung pagkakasabi niya, parang horror story. Dahan-dahan.
Yung enunciation ba?
Oo, di ba?
Parang horror story.
Oo.
Ganon. We haven't...
Parang narinig ko yan sa The Exorcist.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. May soundtrack pa. 2 weeks lang ako nawala. I didn't miss much, huh?
Oo.
Not that much.
You missed a lot. You missed the Netflix series na Philippine version.
What is going on? Dalawa lang linggo lang. I was gone only 2 weeks. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot.
Didn't you enjoy the stairwell?
The coverage from international
The
newspapers.
coverage, di ba? Running in the stairs, di ba? Shooting the lizards in the
Sa ceiling,
sa ceiling, di
sa
ba?
kisame.
Tapos your Senate President praying every day, kneeling and praying. Di mo na-miss yan?
Hindi. And I was overseas where Facebook was I was in first week I was in Uzbekistan, the second week I was in China. And in China, Facebook is of course banned. So hindi ko nakikita yung mga clips that people are posting and all the talk on social media. But when I was finally able to come back online, nagulat na lang ako na all of this happened in a week.
Not a week.
Well, in a span of a few days.
4 days.
And I saw the part of the interview by Jessica Soho of Bato de la Rosa, wherein inamin niya na tinawagan siya ni Senator Cayetano to convince him to resurface just for the vote. And yet, on the other hand, you have Cayetano when he first became SP, saying na this has nothing to do with impeachment. So tatanungin ko sana, how do we reconcile that? But I can see it on your face. So magkaka-coup ba again? Do we know if there's there's a lot of talk about another coup because people are unhappy over the current presidency.
Yes. You have a majority of one. It can happen overnight. You have a majority of one. 12-11. For now.
13-11.
Hindi, 12-11. Wala si Bato eh. You have to be there.
You don't think he's gonna resurface just for another
Hindi
vote?
huli siya.
Nakatakas na siya once.
Hindi na siya ipapasok na.
Despite the 25,000 strong police force that John Vic promised, nasa na pala yun via LGSEC.
Hindi, pupustahan na lang. Hindi siya babalik sa Senado.
Hindi na siya babalik. Because Attorney Torion was quoted in newspaper saying as well na you never know, baka nandiyan lang siya sa tabi-tabi, right?
Sa CR ng Senate.
When was the office? Has anybody thought to check the office, his office? Yeah.
Such a wig.
You never know. But that's what Attorney Torion is saying, right? Hindi mo alam, baka nandiyan lang sa tabi-tabi. Might resurface. For a vote as important as this. Hindi ba?
So maghahabulan sila uli.
Well, it depends. It depends what the Supreme Court has decided on the TRO case, right? So at this point, nag-respond na yung Solgen. We're now waiting to hear from
Wala kasing legal
the side.
impediment eh.
Walang legal impediment. Because of RA 9851.
Tsaka walang TRO. Yung ginagawa lang ng gobyerno is a courtesy to the Supreme Court. It's not a legal impediment.
Technically. So they don't really need the Supreme Court decision.
Yes. At saka lampas na yung 72 hours eh. Yung hiningi ng Supreme Court. Lampas na yun eh.
Yung hiningi ng ng kampo ni Senator De La Rosa.
Hindi, yung hiningi ng Supreme Court to answer.
And by the way, these live pictures we're showing are, of course, from the Senate. So what happened earlier today was they convened for a regular session. They elected a new Senate secretary because the previous one, si Mark Mendoza, resigned. Although he was, I believe he's still being a bit coy about why. So they elected a new Senate secretary. And then Senate President Cayetano officially convened the impeachment court. They suspended for a while to don their judges' robes. And then the session got suspended again all of a sudden. And we're not entirely clear why, because they once again took off their robes. And mukhang may pinag-uusapan in the background. So these are live pictures from the Senate.
Tsaka nagsabi na si JB at tsaka si Mig Subiri na they will be joining the minority. Dati kasi technically hindi sila member ng minority dahil nag-abstain sila.
And you know, they were criticized for fence-sitting, which is totoo nga naman. I mean, just make a stand. Either way, right? Make a decision. Bakit? Sorry, I mean they can't see you on screen, but you're giggling again.
Parang lumalabas ka naman ng kuweba. Welcome back.
Bakit? Bakit? Why is that funny?
Ha?
Bakit nakakatawa?
Dahil iniisip mo na yung ating mga senators.
They will make a stand.
Kanya nga.
They're okay to make a principled stand.
They believe in something higher.
The worst kind of, yeah, the problem with fence sitting is, of course, you're hedging your bets, di ba?
Exactly.
Hindi mo alam, tinatansya mo which way the political winds will go. So gusto mo, okay, let's be independent and
Pwede ka mag-negotiate ng chairmanship.
either way, which is
Chairmanship,
not
then
right.
Hindi ka naman minority. So what else is not right?
So, so ako na ba yan? I'm a bit rusty, no? Balik na nga ako sa kuweba.
Hindi mo nga alam kung ano yung burak.
Alam ko na now. Alam ko na now. Pero yun nga, so the two of them were criticized for being fence sitters, and today finally both Mig Zubiri and JV Ejercito said they would like to stay
So okay ka na ron.
with the minority. So yung final count is 13-11.
No, 12-11. Because not
Kasi
counted
wala
si Bato.
If
you're not
alam mo,
there-
you keep counting him out, but
Hindi,
you don't know.
technical yan eh. If you're not there, you're not counted.
But he might resurface. Don't count him out
Hindi
just yet.
maging 13 pag nag-surface siya. Pero for now, it's 12-11.
12-11, 13-11.
Yun nga yung pinopropose ni Marcoleta, na kahit absent ka, you can vote through Zoom. Diba? Pero hindi pa na-aprobahan yun.
Hindi, that's not Senate procedure. For important votes like this, you have to be present. Sinabi na yan sa atin dati pa.
Pero may proposal siya.
To allow him to vote by Zoom.
Yes.
That's not fair. Because you're gonna change the rules just for one person. Parang walang pagtutunguhan tong araw na to. No? We're not gonna get anywhere today.
My co-host talking about fairness.
No, I'm just saying, you want to change the rules.
Welcome back.
Only now.
Where did you go?
To a place where there are no impeachments and everything is peaceful. Alam mo, nung umalis ako, the crisis was still the oil crisis. And I just want to remind everybody that there is still an oil crisis, by the way. Wala pa rin. There's a
Sarado
very...
pa rin yung state of Hormuz.
Sarado pa rin. There's a very tentative ceasefire. We don't know what came off the Donald Trump Xi Jinping summit last week, and I was there in China when they were
Sabi
there.
ni Xi Jinping, end the war.
Well, they're still negotiating, pero it's a very tentative hold, the ceasefire. So remind ko lang that meron pa ring oil crisis, hindi pa yun resolved. And here comes another crisis, political naman. Pero teka lang, let's bring in Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief Amy Pamintuan, who's ready now. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Reg. Hi, Ronald. Reg, welcome back to the circus. I
know.
You missed yung excitement.
I don't know what happened. I mean, 2 linggo lang ako
Ongoing
nawala.
pa ngayon yung excitement. Akala ko may mangyayari.
Ang payat-payat
Pero
niyo, Ami.
Mukhang pwede pa rin mangyari, no?
Ami.
Pwede pa rin
Ami,
mangyari
payat-payat
ngayon.
4 kilos na nawala. Oh.
Ami, ikaw na lang nga daw.
Oo nga.
Yeah, because I was averaging 12,000 steps abroad. Ami, ikaw na lang daw ako kasapin ni Ronald. There's no point talking to me daw kasi...
She's talking about fairness. It's not fair, sabi daw niya.
And equality. And making a principled stand.
Hindi pa siya nakakaalis sa multiverse niya.
No, I'm just saying.
Makikichismis nga ako, Ronald. Ayan,
May kuba,
nakumpisa na
wala.
yung cabinet na dahan-dahang revamp.
Di ba? Dati pa natin sinasabi yung revamp na yan. Ngayon, increments, di ba?
Ayan, natuloy si Budget Secretary. Ang matulog pa ngayon, si John Vic, although dinideny, no, ng Malacanang.
Medyo hindi
Ano bang
ganun
balita
kakwan
ron?
yun. Medyo buy one, take three yan.
By one, take three. Break ko lang din.
Buy one, take three.
So, I was just saying that may oil crisis pa, di ba? So, we just break the news that the peso closed at another historic low, sitting at 61.75 to the US dollar.
Oh, dear.
61.75 closed today, a new historic low.
So kahit hindi nagpuputukan, gumuguho pa rin yung ating economy.
Yun naman sinasabi ko, natabunan na because of all this circus, because of all this noise in politics, natabunan na yung importanteng story that there is still an oil crisis, that the economy is still, in trouble. And ito na nga, the peso has closed at another historic low, 61.75. We have hit historic lows at least 12 times this year, if I'm not mistaken. Kasi yung last count ko was 8 times in March alone, plus ito, plus yung earlier in the year. So at least 12 times, which is crazy, by the way.
Story close din yung ating political crisis.
So is it a race to the bottom? Yun ba yun?
Exactly.
We're racing to the bottom?
Di ba? Diba?
So, apart from that, namumroblema tayo sa kuryente, yung mga rotating brownouts, blackouts, inaabot daw ng 3 hours.
Yes.
Nagrereklamo na, hindi lang mga negosyante, pati mga, everybody's complaining, no? Outside, dito sa Metro Manila, hindi natin masyado nararamdaman But in the outside Manila, marami na nagrereklamo.
Kahapon, Ami, nagsalita ako sa isang seminar sa Santa Rosa. Rotating talaga yung brownout. Doon. lapit lang nun, sa Manila. Lapit lang, Santa Rosa.
Kaya nga.
And there was a...
Mukhang sinasave nila yung dahil ang gulo-gulo na nga natin dito. Madadagdag pa yung
Pero for a while kasi Ami, nalilibang ang mga Pilipino pag meron telenovela Di ba?
How many more times are we gonna go down this path?
Sila sa spectacle,
yung distraction, yung
Exactly. No? Pero lilipas yan pag nakaramdam ka ng gutom
Hindi naman nawala yung gutom.
Pag nakaramdam ka na init.
Yung gutom is always there.
Wala pang kuryente. Walang ventilador. Paano ba naman?
Ang pinakamalaking
yung 95-year-old ko na nanay, nag-brown out sa bahay namin sa Project 7. Tapos naubos yung kwan dahil matagal.
Yung oxygen?
Naubos yung kwan niya. Hindi, naubos yung electric yung rechargeable electric fan.
Okay.
Eh di syempre ang init for a 95-year-old, di ba? Grabe yun, no? Kaya dapat laging naka-recharge yung iyong mga EV.
Pasensya.
Yung rechargeable mo, laging naka-charge.
Yung pasensya.
Ang problema sa mga rechargeable, madali rin masira. Di ba? Hindi siya matagal So bibili ka kagad ng bago.
Alam mo, that's the biggest consequence of this political crisis, if I can call it that. Okay, if you don't want to use the word crisis, this political chaos is that natatabunan yung importanteng economic issues. Hindi pa nga naayos yung oil crisis. Hindi pa naayos. Hindi ko alam kung nabigay na lahat ng ayuda, by the way. When I left...
Wala na. Nobody's talking about
Nobody's
ayuda
talking
anymore.
about it. Exactly. And naghihirap pa rin yung transport sector.
Pero katulad ng pinag-usapan natin dati, itong mga GOCC, katulad ng SSS, nagle-level up sila. Nagbigay sila ng moratorium sa payment ng loans until lumipas itong crisis. Gumagawa sila ng package ng new loans, etc. So, dahil ang dami nilang pera ay hindi naman sila pwedeng utusan ng gobyerno.
Which they did. Tapos illegal daw pala.
Dapat gagawin nila motu proprio. Diba? Ang PhilHealth has 1.5, 1.4 trillion.
In reserves.
So part niyan baka pwede mong gamitin, katulad ng SSS, katulad ng GSIS. Diba? So hindi lang gobyerno yung pwedeng tumulong dito. Yung the whole of government approach pwedeng gamitin dito. Habang may crisis.
Which everybody seems to have forgotten
Walang
about.
crisis.
Sa Senate.
Ano ba?
Sa Senate meron.
And in the main...
Mukhang malulungkot ang mukha nila, Ronald. Bakit ganun mukha nila?
Ang problema
malulungkot sila.
Ang problema kasi Ami sa Senate, you are left with imperfect choices. You are left with lesser evil choices. Alam mo naman, lesser evil para sa mga atinista is still evil.
Evil pa rin yun,
diba? So, ano ba?
Hindi lang para sa atinista.
Don't be
For
evil.
everybody. Lesser evil is still evil.
Pinatulan.
Yeah.
Kainis.
Teka lang. These are still live pictures, by the way, just to recap. We don't know yet what's going on at the Senate. At one point, they already donned their senator judges' robes. Tapos tinanggal ulit, and they suspended session once again. Although we kept the cameras rolling, as you can see, it seems like there's some sort of a discussion going on.
Dahil very thin yung majority either way, tatanggapin mo ba para lumaki yung majority mo or para magkaroon ka ng majority, tatanggapin mo ba yung may mga plunder cases? Tatanggapin mo ba yung may mga kaso sa ICC?
You can't, I mean, if you take out
Di pa
every
arresto mo
person,
na lang sila, no?
if
Para
you-
mabawasan dyan ang mga ano.
if you take out every person who has a pending case, wala nang quorum.
Hindi naman.
Hindi na-
Meron kang
Hindi, dalawa lang yun.
meron-
Dalawa o tatlo lang yun.
Meron kang apat na
Dalawa
may
lang.
plunder case.
Five.
Meron kang
There are
apat.
2 graft and corruption / plunder cases.
May apat ka na may plunder case.
There are
May
2
dalawa
crimes
na
against humanity
ICC.
cases.
Oo.
There are 2 market manipulation cases. Insider trading, market manipulation.
Yung solar
Ilan na
pa.
yun?
Hindi
Yung
naman
solar
ano
pa.
yan. Available
6.
naman yan.
May
Yung solar pa.
Well,
Yung anak.
Available yun eh.
related yun. So,
Oo.
ika-count mo yun, 7.
Tapos meron kang butterfly na palipat-lipat na nagalit na yung nilipatan niya. Ayaw na siya tanggapin.
Help me understand.
Hindi lang assumption.
Hindi, yung problema lang yung ano, yung non-bailable eh. Kasi hindi na sila makakapunta diyan para bumoto. So dalawa lang yon yung plunder.
Yung non-bailable, yes.
Dalawa.
Well,
oo,
non-bailable yung
yun.
ICC
Saka yung wanted
cases.
ng ICC.
So,
wala
apat-
na naman siya dyan.
That's
Kaya
4.
hindi na siya counted.
That's 4 already.
Pero, Kompe, ongoing pa yan eh. Pwede pang sampahan ng mga non-bailable cases.
Yan na nga. Malversation kasi madaling isang pa yun.
So help me
It's non-bailable.
understand yung calculation ni Senator Legarda here. Is it true that she was expecting to become SP?
No.
Yun yung calculation niya.
Chismis.
And then it was
first,
snatched from
the
her.
first woman Senate President.
And then it was just snatched from her. Is that right?
Chismis
By-
lang naman. Unconfirmed, Marites.
Unconfirmed.
Marites story.
Oh, that's what...
Pero, kwan, masama loob nila Tito Sen tsaka ni Ping dahil kasama siya sa mga meetings hanggang last minute.
Hindi daw nagpaalam sa kanila.
nagulat si Tito Sen.
Parang para sa kanila talagang betrayal.
That was a betrayal. Correct.
Kasi normally, ewan ko kung totoo yun, Ronald, na if you're going to go to the other side, magpapaalam ka as a matter of courtesy, kasi mangyayari naman dun sa mga dati mong kakampi.
Yes.
Yun lang naman yung
Tsaka-
himutok down
tsaka
nila
nandun
Tito
ka-
Sen.
nandun ka sa
Hindi
mga
man lang daw sila sinabihan.
Tsaka nandun ka sa mga pulong eh. Diba? Nandun ka sa mga pulong para
That
mapigilan.
are sensitive
Yung
discussions
Oo.
behind the scenes.
Actually, kahit si Alan Peter, medyo... Usually kasi pag papaltan mo yung Senate President, binibigyan mo siya ng graceful exit. Mag-resign na lang siya.
Sasabihan mo siya.
In the case ni Tito Soto,
That was
hindi.
an outright coup.
Yeah, talagang sinorpresa siya.
Blatant in your face.
Oo, si Cheese kasi
Ousting.
pinaresign eh. Diba? Parang face saving ng konti.
Hindi, alam mo kung bakit? Kasi ipapasok nila nga si Bato de la Rosa.
Kaya,
Ayaw nilang ma-alert yung mga tao na susumpot si Senator Bato. Kasi nga, meron ng chismis na arestuhin. Kaya gano'n na nangyari dyan sa kuna yan.
I wonder if yung counts, ayan na.
Ayan na,
we're
bumalik
seeing
na.
the mace being brought back to the rostrum at the Senate.
Yeah.
Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva is at the podium about to speak.
Senator Lauren Legarda, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Culture and Arts. So moved, Mr. President.
If there's no objection, motion is approved.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means. So moved.
There's no objection, motion is approved.
Senator Christopher Bongo, chairperson of the Committee on Health and Demography. Vice Senator Risa Ontiveros. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Any objection? No objection, motion is approved.
Mr. President, Senator Joel Villanueva as chairperson of the Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education. Vice Senator Lauren Legarda. So moved, Mr. President.
There's no objection, the motion is approved. Thank you very much, Senator Legarda.
Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, chairperson of the Committee on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation. Vice Senator Lauren Legarda. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If none, the motion is approved.
Senator Christopher Bongo, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Sports. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? No objection. The motion is approved. Pang health na, pang sports pa.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, and Futures Thinking. I so move, Mr. President.
If there is no objection, the motion is approved.
Senator Lauren Legarda, as chairperson of the Committee on Basic Education, Vice Senator Bam Aquino. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Dante Marcoleta as chairperson of the Committee on Public Services, Vice Senator Raffy Tulfo. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla retained as chairperson of the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If none, the motion is approved.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla retained as chairperson of the Committee on Cultural Communities and Muslim Affairs. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada as chairperson of the Committee on Games and Amusement. Vice Senator Erwin Tulfo. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Pia Cayetano retained as chairperson of the Committee on Energy. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If there's none, the motion is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Yes. Before the suspension, may I ask the chairpersons if they replaced another senator, if they can coordinate if there is any pending sponsorship that was already being discussed before the change in leadership. We actually have a weekly agenda, and as much as we can pursue the original committee report and sponsorship, the leadership will greatly appreciate that. No? Session suspended for a minute.
Okay, there you have it. The Senate session has been suspended once again. Very strange that they came back as senators and not as senator judges, and instead confirmed the committee chairmanships for the committees. It sounds like most of them retained, like katulad nila Pia Cayetano retaining Ways and Means, but there were some changes as well. I think Lisa Ontiveros was replaced by Bongo for Health, if I remember correctly.
Yung mga lumipat sa majority ni Alan Peter, na-retain. Yung mga hindi sumama.
Sino ng blue ribbon?
Sila yung natanggalan,
Hindi ko yata nakuha yung blue ribbon.
Sila yung
wala akong narinig.
The expectation, wala tayong narinig for blue ribbon, but the expectation is that it'll be Senator Marcoleta, of course. And ang other rumor is that Senator Bam Aquino will lose the Education Committee.
Basic education.
In fact, he posted about it already over the weekend. And it might
Mapupunta kay Robin Hood Padilla.
Senator Padilla, correct. But the question still
Education,
still a big question.
Education kay Robin Hood.
Parang may nais kang ipahiwatig.
Oo nga eh.
Parang meron, di ba?
Mumingiti lang ako
Style ni Ronald yan, Ali. Don't be like him. But still very strange why they came back as senators, and walang explanation as to why they took off their robes, because before this suspension, 2 suspensions ago, they were already convening as an impeachment court. Sinuot na yung robes, and there was every expectation that they will start the trial proper, but they suspended and came back as senators. Not sure what's
Pero
going on.
hindi ko alam kung anong kasunod nun kasi they have already ordered summonses
Yeah, correct.
Diba? They are sending out summonses, unang-una kay Vice President. Baka ganun lang ang mangyayari ngayon sa impeachment court.
No, before they suspended, SP Cayetano took his oath, and they were supposed to don the robes, and then each of the senator judges take their oaths. Yun yung kulang. They haven't taken their oaths. Si SP Cayetano pa lang yung nag-oath taking as a senator judge at this point. Again, we're trying to find out from our reporters there if there's something that's going on. But what happened to your fearless forecast, Ronald?
It's still a forecast.
Still a
Not as fearless.
Not as
still a forecast.
It's a fearful forecast.
A majority of one can change overnight.
Oo nga
So,
oo nga, masyadong tenuous yung no?
Yung the
Kaya
hold is very
walang
tenuous.
masayang mukha dyan sa nakikita ko
They all look very sad and serious, huh? Pati si APC, si Senator Cayetano.
Look at these senators in the majority. Do you think they will stick it out if the scenario changes for their political calculation?
How would the scenario change? Sige nga. Because at the moment...
If somebody tells them, oh, we have a lot of skeletons in your closet. So
You mean Malacanang?
Walang aamin dahil co-equal branches, di ba?
walang interference. But you mean Malacanang, right? Yung Malacanang,
yeah.
you know, presses the metal and says,
May kaso yung mga negosyo mo sa SEC.
marami kang
Diba?
kaso.
I mean, yung solar farm mo, ng anak mo, may...
For example lang, di ba?
Example lang. Wala namang naisip pahiwatig, di ba?
Pero for example, merong solar cases na na kinasuhan ng DOE.
Example lang. Uy, susuko ka namin sa ICC.
Or yung
Pag nakuha ka ng ICC, never ka na makakabalik.
or yung market manipulation cases.
Yes. So,
sa SEC.
most senators have skeletons in their closets. They have vulnerabilities, except a very few.
Except very few. Correct.
Yeah.
So mabilis lang yun i-exploit is what you're saying.
Yes. Kaya, majority of one?
Is that
Kaya nga eh.
I don't know if ikaw wishful thinking ka lang naman yata. For all you know.
Ibig sabihin, na-appreciate mo na nagtitinking ako. Salamat. That was almost a compliment.
Almost a compliment. Almost a compliment. Don't get ahead of yourself. But,
Ano kaya ginagawa nila sa sa recess?
Kaya nga may pag-uusap na nangyayari.
Kaya nagkikwentuhan lang eh.
Para suspicious.
Bakit ka magsususpend kung ganyan lang naman ang gagawin? Nagchichismisan lang.
You have to pay attention to who's not in the room. Yun yung nag-uusap behind the scenes.
Parang suspicious si Ami,
Yan na nga. Parang may iniintay sila eh, di ba?
Parang,
Tingnan mo.
Bro, baliktad ka na. Baliktad ka na.
Yung isa, wala nang kibudo, no? Hindi na ma-under.
Hirap na rin, no? Nasa microscope.
Ayan na uli.
Nasa microscope yung Senado.
Ayan na. Ano lang yan. Inulit lang yan.
Mr. President,
Either people are waving to me or saying no, so maybe we can take it up tomorrow.
no, Mr. President, I would gladly elect Mr. President with the indulgence of our colleagues and with the permission of the body, especially with our...
Majority Leader, we'll just do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, as I was saying a while ago, to give our new chairman of the different Senate committees time to coordinate with the committee secretaries and committee reports pending in the plenary, and at the same time for the members to have more time in reading the articles of impeachment. Mr. President, may I respectfully move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, May 19, 2026. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There being none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday, May 19, 2026.
Enjoy na kagad,
There you have it. The Senate has
Ayan,
adjourned
kaya
for
naman.
the day.
Babasahin daw nila yung articles of impeachment. Ang haba-haba kasi. Thousands of pages.
Correct.
Ipapabasa lang nila sa staff nila yun, tapos hingi sila ng summary. O kaya sa chat GPT.
I just have to issue a correction as well. I said the senators haven't taken their oaths. They have na pala. But still, we were expecting them to reconvene as senator judges. Kaya lang, they took off their robes and then when the session resumed, they came back as senators, not as the judges. So that's still a question mark as to what happened there. And also just to...
Inaayos pa yata yung schedule, di ba? Inaayos pa yung schedule ng trial para daw maituloy pa rin nila yung mga iba nilang duties as legislators.
Correct. And then to recap, the new committee chairmanships, Lauren Legarda has Culture and Basic Education, Pia has Ways and Means, Sustainable Development Goals and Energy, Bongo has Health and Demography, Joel Villanueva has Higher Technical Vocational Education, Jingo Estrada has National Defense and Security, Bongo has Sports, Rodante Marcoleta has Public Services, Robin Padilla has Public Information and Mass Media, as well as Cultural Communities, and Jingo Estrada has Games and Amusement alongside National Defense and Security.
Walang blue ribbon.
Wala pang blue ribbon. Wala pang blue ribbon.
Baka walang gustong tumanggap.
It's a...
Ano yan eh, mahirap yung anong yan eh, mahirap yung committee na yan.
Nakita niyo ba si Cheese?
Wala pa. Earlier, before they called the session, we did see him briefly, pero he was talking to Lauren Legarda in the off-takes. Pero hindi pa natin nakita. Why? What are you implying?
Lumalabas yung pangalan niya today. Lumalabas yung pangalan niya as a possible Senate President. Pero meron siya mga bit-bit na for now, parang hindi acceptable sila. Siya plus 3.
To cross over?
Ayan. Kaya baka mahaba na naman ang araw natin, Ronald.
Anong aasahan mo? Wala ka namang ibang pagpipilian, no? Para mabuo yung majority mo. Oh, di ba? Sinong gusto mo sumama sa majority?
But it was, as you said kanina, right? Mahirap na kung marami kang skeletons in the closet, marami kang baggage, right? So even if you cross over now, sure, you're safe for now.
Yeah.
What's happening? What's preventing the other side from exploiting that weakness as well?
Of course.
Right?
That's real, di ba?
That's real. It's a real calculation.
Pero, sabi ko nga kanina, karamihan naman dyan may skeletons eh. Di ba? Some less than others.
Ayan, yung nagsasama-sama na yan.
Some less than others. So whoever yung lilipat, may baggage yun. Di ba? Whoever yung lilipat dun sa 11 na minority, may baggage yun.
Let's not forget that it was Chiz who first junked the very first impeachment. Forthwith. Na in-archive, right? So again, anong...
Kaya ang balita ko, yung offer niya, nalilipat siya, in exchange for the Senate presidency, may mga ayaw.
Of course.
Even, kahit mapalitan si Alan Peter, yung iba ay wala sa ganung framework na anybody but Alan.
Meron ding mga anybody but Cheese.
Yes.
What are they signing is the question at the moment.
Yung chairmanship yata yan.
Yung chairmanships. Yung handover ng chairmanships.
Kaya ang hirap Hirap ng sitwasyon nila.
Mahirap
Dahil nga...
we're left with imperfect choices.
Yes.
Hiro mo, 24 lang sila. Ang gulo-gulo natin, ano?
Yan. Di ba?
Kakunti na nga naman. Nagkakagulo ang Pilipinas over ano?
Over?
Just 24 people. 23 na lang, nawawala na isa. Baka may balita ka, nagsumakay daw ng yate. Nag-Alice go daw. Ano lang naman niya, Marites. Although it's highly possible, it can happen.
Anything is possible in this country.
I was wondering about that. I wondered if Senator De La Rosa was getting advice, legal advice as well, about, if he had gone and cooperated fully, wouldn't that strengthen his interim release case sa ICC? Meron naman na pagbibigyan ng interim release sa ICC. It's not automatic that you're, detained right away. But if you had cooperated fully, hindi ka flight risk, you could argue that you're not a flight risk, right? And be granted interim release. And that would also, in a way, strengthen former President Duterte's case, hindi ba? To say that, we're not afraid, we have nothing to hide, we will subject ourselves to the judicial process.
But he has already crossed the line.
Kaya nga So I wonder if he was getting legal advice for both, for a number of scenarios, di ba? Of what he could do. Yung options niya in this case.
Hindi niya i-risk yun Dahil una, makita naman niya yung nangyari kay Digong. Hindi na yan makakabalik. Diba?
Don't forget, Digong fought his arrest as well.
Yes, pero very weak yung defense. Diba? Ikalawa ay marami siyang mga kasama na tetestigo laban sa kanya, like Karma, no? Like Las Cañas. They will corroborate each other, no? At others pa. So siguro alam niya, teka, maraming nandun na magte-testify against me. Siguro sa kanyang analysis, malakas yung kaso against him. Kaya talagang never niya i-risk na pumunta ron. Dahil pag nandun na siya, wala nang balikan na.
Yun ba yung assumption that malakas yung kaso sa kanya? I mean, the other side
He's the author of Tokhang.
the architect.
Siya ang
Well, not the
architect ng Tokhang.
But
He is the
when you
architect of
talk
Tokhang.
when you talk to his defense
He
team,
never denied it.
But when you talk to his defense team,
Parang,
they still stand firm na wala
parang
silang
si
kasalanan.
Digong yung nag-order, pero sino nag-implement? No, yun yung magiging
Siya yung
kaso
chief
niya.
implementer.
Siya yung implementer.
Actually, that's one thing I've been wondering about talaga. In all honesty, sa loob-loob niya, if he truly believes if the case against him is strong or not. Because when you talk to his defense lawyers, and well, Bato himself, they still believe na wala siyang ginawang kasalanan, right? That there's nothing there.
Siyempre, nasasabihin nila.
Parang Nuremberg yan eh. Anong sabi ng mga nandun? We were just following orders.
We were just following orders.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could
Actually, yung mga ginagawa ngayon ni Senator Bato, yung mga nangyayari sa kanya ngayon, yung he is being protected by the Senate itself, it reinforces the reason for the ICC
Yeah, correct.
to step in.
Correct. I mean,
Then,
from
makikita mo, it will never, the prosecution for that kind of case in the Philippines, kahit meron tayong batas, local, it's not gonna happen.
yeah. Remember one of the reasoning when they turned down one of the interim requests of petition by Duterte's team is that there is still an existing network here in the Philippines that would help them escape or evade accountability, or a community that would protect them essentially. Yun yung reasoning ng pretrial chamber. So this is, I guess, proving it that there are people willing to help them escape essentially.
Halimbawa, yung strongest argument against interim release ni Digong ay yung claims ng kanyang pamilya at kanyang followers na siya ay kinidnap. No? At ang kanilang strategy is to bring him home. Ang interim release kasi, ang assumption yun, hindi ka tatakbo. Kung ang argument mo, kinidnap, hindi ka na babalik
Iuwi siya.
sa ICC. At sinabi yun ng prosecution. No? Kung
Correct.
ganito ang sinasabi nila, ba't mo bibigyan ng interim release? Yung ganun ba? Yung hindi na-realize ng mga supporters.
That's what I'm saying. Oh.
Napapasama yung kanilang
Kaya nga the case is they're making an even bigger case for his detention, for his continued detention.
Kaya tuloy pinalitan yung abogado.
Too late. Too late.
Palit na abogado. Tagal pa ng trial, November.
Hindi, matagal lang.
November? Bakit? Bakit ang tagal?
Yung usual length ng trial sa ICC is 6 to 8
6 to 8 years.
Oh. Pero yung start ng trial, it's still in
Because
November. Yan ang minove ng ICC
dahil
prosecutor.
marami pa silang ibang kaso eh. Marami pa silang ibang kaso. No? Ikalawa, pinaghahandaan ng husto yan. No? Because it's an international court. Yun nga pala, kinlarify nila ng mga legal luminaries dahil sinasabi kasi this is foreign invasion dahil it is a foreign court. It made difference ang foreign court with an international court. Diba?
Yeah.
Yun yung kinukuha ng mga legal luminaries. Baka nagkakamali kayo.
Well, and again, the point is we made it into law. We passed it into law through RA 9851. This was before the Rome Statute was ratified. Right? So there was already nauna pa tayo to acknowledge that the laws of international tribunals and international courts form part of the law of the land. Okay, we have to take a very quick break right now. You're watching Storycon 1 News. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
All you need is here in one app. Stream your favorite movies, shows, and sports endlessly with a new Signal Super Light plan. For only 299 pesos a month, you can catch all the content from Lionsgate Play, Fuse Plus, Signal Play, and Pilipinas Live. Download the Signal Super app and subscribe to Signal Super Light now.
Never in the history sa aking trabaho ako nagtapon ng laptop sa isang colleague or sa isang empleyado. Pangalawa, hindi ako gumagamit ng laptop kasi hindi ako marunong gumamit ng computer.
Hindi nga siya marunong gumamit ng computer. So mukhang hindi siya marunong mag-research kung ano ba ang nangyayari sa kasalukuyan. At yun ang nakakaalarma dahil nais niyang maging Pangulo. Pero paano siyang magkakaroon ng tamang pagpapasya? Ni paggamit ng computer ay hindi niya alam. Ang kaya niya lang gawin ay magpukpok ng tao.
We're not helpless and hopeless. We volunteer to be helpless. We can never escape a crisis that is global in scale, but we can ameliorate it. Oh, we shouldn't go back to oil deregulation because we failed. Then do it better, not don't do it. There is nothing contradictory between privatization and regulation. So it wasn't a failure of regulation, it was a failure of governance. The person at fault is not the Constitution, it's tayo mismo.
Catch The View from Manila with Richard Haydarian every Monday, 9 p.m. on Long Conversation, here on One News.
There's always different sides to a story, and no noise should drown them out.
News should be balanced and accurate. No two ways about it.
Context is also key. No story should be told without it.
I'm Sean Yao.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
I'm Ces Orenia Drilon. We put facts and context together until we complete the big story. We're on weeknights, 7:30 to 8:30 on One News. All sides, all the time.
Welcome back. We've got the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Regina Lay. Still with me, Amy Paminton of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political heckler. Parang horror show na naman ba? I read it faster this time. I do have one big question. Ano na nangyari kay Secretary Remulla?
What do you mean?
He did not capture Zaldico. He did not capture Atong Ang. He missed Atong Ang by day, and he did not capture Bato de la Rosa. What is going on there?
Nag-issue siya ng statement ngayon lang. Di naman daw siya concerned kung siya'y matatanggal. That's in reaction to all the rumors circulating.
Lalo na
siya yung susunod dito sa DBM.
Lalo na binabanatan ni Trillanes. Puro daw press con.
No.
He's not wrong.
Sabi naman niya.
Trillanes is not wrong.
Tapos sinagot niya si Trillanes. No?
Tawagan mo nga, kausapin natin. Well, I mean...
Ano ba yung sagot niya kay Trillanes?
Ano?
Ha?
Ano?
Parang lahat naman ng tinakbuhan niya, talo siya.
Si Trillanes.
Parang non-sequitur, di ba?
That's, it's a bit of a non-sequitur. But the point is as well, what has he delivered? Is the question. I mean, I know you're friends with him. Baka tawagan mo.
Sinabi lang niya pina-ambush ako ng tatay niya. Friends na kami.
You guys got friends, right? You talk a lot. So tawagan mo nga, tanungin natin what's going on. Because
Hindi rin niya alam what's going on.
Hindi rin niya alam.
Alam mo naman tong gobyerno to, kapag tatanggalin ka, you will learn about it while you're attending a conference.
Well, I mean...
Hindi ka sasabihan. Kaya hindi rin niya alam yan.
Maybe he should be more...
I think Malacanang will need someone. Kasi,
should be more what?
Kasi kung hindi si Secretary Remulla sisisihin, kay President Marcos babagsak yung sisi kay Bato eh. Nag-announce siya na wag aarestuhin ng NBI eh. Yun ang sinabi ni John Vic na there was a well, hindi naman niya sinabing directly na statement ni President Marcos to the NBI wag arestuhin.
Stand down. Ang sabi, stand down. Yun ang exact words. Dahil nga, irespeto yung 72 hours
Marcos.
na hiningi ng Supreme Court para sagutin yung mga
Malacanang
motions.
asked for NBI to stand down.
Stand down.
But
Marco, the president said it himself.
Kaya nung sinasabi ni Alan na nilulusob sila, sabi nila Melvin, wala nga kami dyan eh. Wala kami dyan. Dahil kung i-implement mo
hindi,
yung
may
warrant,
agents doon sa bridge sa GSIS
Yes,
because
pero kung-
GSIS asked for it.
ask for it. May
They were
record
in the
yun, may resibo.
GSIS wing.
Oo, sa GSIS wing yun.
Tapos yung nahuli nila ng isang NBI na driver na volunteer, may text message siya doon sa security na may kukunin siyang bag na naiwan no, nung Monday. So, may mga resibo yan eh. Nakuha. Kaya, kung mag-implement ka ng warrant, knowing na may resistance yung Senate leadership at yung security ng Senate ay under ng Senate leadership, practically even the Marines, no, ay ba't ka pupunta ng 1 o 5 o 4? Diba? Why?
I mean, he was talking
Kailangan mo
about a
dyan.
25,000 strong police force, right?
Oo nga.
In the days beforehand.
Dapat mag-i-implement yan. Compelling force yan eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Kaya sinasabi ng NBI, eh, ang order sa amin, stand down. Ba't namin lalabagin yung order ng presidente? Ba't namin huhulihin? Like a thief in the night.
Yeah.
Diba?
Correct.
Wala doon si Magalong, wala doon yung chief PNP, wala doon yung head ng NBI. Usually, pag ganyan ka-dramatic na kaso, andun yung leadership. No?
So what this has got people saying right now is namimiss nila si General Torre.
Ayun na nga.
Dapat daw ibalik si General Torre. Because mukhang siya lang yung kayang...
Nag-issue nga ng cartoon eh. Meron siyang cartoon picture.
Mukhang siya lang yung
May
kayang
hinuhuli siya na na medyo kahawig ni Senator Bato.
Itong mga high-profile arrests.
Nakita mo na ba yung mga memes? Matatawa ka sa mga memes. Ang dami. Ha?
Which memes?
Oh, kakatawa talaga. At least na-entertain tayo.
Alan Peter, John Vic Remulla. Ang tawag kay John Vic, John Wick.
Si John Wick. If only he were as good as John Wick, di ba? Sorry
Wick.
I'm sorry, Sec Remulla, pero so far, every single person we've talked about.
W-E-A-K.
Hindi W-I-C-K.
Ikaw naman, na-miss mo eh. Slow ka eh.
John Wick. Hindi naman Wick yun, Wick.
Wick.
John Wick.
Oo, yun na.
Hindi John Wick. But,
Ang daming lumalabas na ganyan, no?
Atong
si Juan.
Harry Roque,
Oh,
Saldi
si
Co,
Pinocchio.
and now Bato de la Rosa.
Si Pinocchio, Alan Peter, mahaba ilong.
May bago ng Sergeant at Arms. May pinangalan ng bago.
Correct. To replace Mark Mendoza, si M din yung
No,
Hindi,
Sergeant at
Sec-Gen
Arms.
yun.
Ay, Sec-Gen, sorry.
Yeah. Apart from the Senate Secretary, yung Sergeant at Arms, may kapalit na. Kasi tinanggap na daw yung suspension.
Ni Mau Aplaska.
May kapalit na siya.
And hindi siya agad-agad tinanggap ni SP Cayetano, by the way. Si Ombudsman Remulla announced it over the weekend. Tapos kanina, when he held a press con earlier this morning, si APC,
tinanggap na raw.
sabi niya, we'll decide on that later. So it wasn't an immediate acceptance. Same with the subpoena that the Ombudsman sent, right?
Sinagot
for the
naman nila?
CCTV. Ha?
Sinagutan nila, nabinigay na nila yung
Hindi pa
CCTV.
daw eh. Hindi pa daw.
What's taking too long?
I don't know, but at his press con earlier this morning, SP Cayetano said there was a miscommunication. Meron naman daw talagang CCTV. It's just that in some parts, madilim. It's not easily, it's not easy to decipher what's going on.
Hindi naman sila magde-decide doon, ibigay na lang nila. Di ba?
Oo nga.
Don't ask me, I'm not the Senate
Nakuha na
President.
yata. Nakuha na yata yung mga video.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. But at this point, let's bring in our guest for today. We're talking to the former College of Law Dean of the University of St. LaSalle, Attorney Ralph Sarmiento. Good afternoon, Attorney. Welcome back to Storycon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, Attorney.
Attorney, ano ba kaibahan
Hello,
na? Dean, ano
Good afternoon.
kaibahan ng St. LaSalle doon sa LaSalle?
Ano po? Sister school po yung DLSU
okay.
and
You don't have to
St.
listen
LaSalle,
to it.
that's LaSalle Bacolod.
Meron siyang beef against LaSalle, Attorney, so don't worry about it. But I don't know, there's so many things to talk about, but let's talk about the ICC arrest warrant, the answer of the Solgen, and the Supreme Court's delicate balancing act here. What do you think?
Well, actually expected naman po yun, no? So, we'll see, no? Kung ano po yung reply sa camp ni Senator De La Rosa. Yung on the part of the Solicitor General, expected naman po yan because that's the expected na stand of the Philippine government. So it reflects the stand of the Philippine government.
Attorney, tanong ko lang kasi mukhang pare-pareho sinasabi ng mga abogado eh.
Opo.
Kapag humingi ka ng TRO from a court, yung petition has urgency, no? TRO yan eh.
Opo.
So pag hindi nag-issue ng TRO yung korte, ibig sabihin, you can proceed with whatever you're doing dahil nothing is restraining you.
There's no
Tama
legal
yan?
impediment.
Well, technically po, when you ask for a TRO from the court, no, from any court for that matter, you have to establish several things. Number one, that you really have a clear legal right. And then that clear legal right is at the risk of being violated. And that the injury arising from that violation is irreparable. So hindi po pwedeng mabalik yung whatever result or injury nun. No? So you will have to establish and convince the court of those three fundamental things. Now, when the court is not convinced, probably the court would like to see, the things deeper, to examine the things deeper. So normally it will not give a TRO. Pero may mga possibility po doon, may mga cases din na naglalabas po yung Supreme Court ng status quo ante order, just to maintain the status quo. Pero basta hindi po naglabas ng Supreme Court ng either TRO, writ of injunction, or status quo order, ang meaning po nun is talagang wala. So in the meantime, there is the court is parang
You can go ahead.
Yeah, technically po, that means you can go ahead.
Even though, as we were saying earlier, technically, labas naman ng Supreme Court here because there's no law, correct, that says that he can't be surrendered. I'm citing specifically RA 9851 and what it says about the international courts and how we recognize their laws as part of the law of the land.
Well, clear naman po yung 9851 na may option po doon. It's either to surrender or to extradite. And on the part of the International Criminal Court, it's not a state, so wala po tayong extradition treaty. So the option is either to surrender or to maintain na we are to prosecute and try him in the Philippines. But when there's a pending investigation or prosecution before an international court, so the Philippines retains the option to surrender.
The fact that...
Kaya nga sa ngayon, nothing is stopping the government from carrying out the ICC arrest warrant, ano? Kasi wala namang order from the Supreme Court.
Yes po, that is correct. As things stand at the moment, nothing bars the Philippine government from implementing the warrant, assuming, of course, na his whereabouts or the warrant is implemented, or they'll be able to get custody of his person and then to implement actions based on 9851.
The petition that was filed by Senator De La Rosa's camp was an extremely urgent motion and a prayer for a TRO. Give us a sense of how the SC, the Supreme Court, usually responds to extremely urgent motions. Like what's the window?
Experience po, for example, I had the experience of filing a petition directly with the Supreme Court and asking the Supreme Court for the issuance of a TRO. And in just a matter of I think a day or two, the Supreme Court immediately issued a TRO against the COMELEC.
So it matters kapag urgent yung motion or extremely urgent yung motion, they do act within a very...
Normally po, especially if you can establish that there's a talagang irreparable injury that may result, and especially when it involves possible violations or alleged violations of fundamental constitutional rights. Very sensitive po kasi yung Supreme Court natin basta may mga possible violations of constitutional rights.
Paano kapag hindi inaksyonan for 14 months? Kasi meron din ganung petition.
No TRO means no TRO. So it says basically.
Kaya nga. Hindi nila kailangan i-reject. I mean, from the reaction itself of the court, di ba? You can surmise naman siguro kung ano yung tingin nila doon sa urgency ng petition mo. Kung 14 months na, wala pa rin nangyayari.
One important thing that the Supreme Court has to decide is what not to decide. And When the matter is talagang, let's say, political, no, and at the same time, in this particular case, the another tribunal, like in this case, the International Criminal Court, has taken jurisdiction or has begun to exercise jurisdiction. Normally po, the Supreme Court will never act in haste, no? So it will act very careful out of deference then sa International Criminal Court. So they will really be careful about their action on this matter, because whatever their action is or decision is, it will also be reflecting on our standing before the international legal.
Dean, on another point, may mga groups na mga families, belonging to families ng EJK victims, ang nagpaplano mag-file ng obstruction of justice case sa ilang mga senador, including the Senate President right now. Ano ba yung feasibility nitong obstruction of justice na ito? Ano bang mga parusa dyan na posibleng kung halimbawa makonvict? Ano ba yan?
Well, obstruction of justice, it may be taken as parang pwede siyang, I think pwede siyang maging criminal case. Pwede rin siyang ano lang on the part of the court, no? Kaya lang ang problem dito, this is a gray area. Hindi talaga clear itong ano to, because this is an international warrant and gray area because there are arguments back and forth on both sides na, for example, as to whether Article 59 should be complied with, as to whether they can act solely on the basis of Republic Act number 9851. So this is a gray area. Kasi when you go after, let's say, members of the Senate for possible obstruction of justice, ang daming issues doon eh. For example, yung let's say the authority of the Senate to give let's say protection to Senator Bato de la Rosa. Is that within their authority? For example, not invoking parliamentary immunity or yung privilege from arrest under Article 6, Section 11 of the Constitution, but they're saying as an institution, they have the right to protect, the Senate has the right to protect its dignity as one of the co-equal branches and has the right, at least temporarily, parang to give protection to one of its members. So, kasi when if you will go after them for obstruction of justice as a criminal case, then it will be the burden of the prosecution or the complainant to establish guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So you need to establish that the intent behind the action is really to obstruct justice.
Yeah, but attorney, isn't the law also clear on that the Senate can only provide protection when it's crimes that have penalties of below 6 years? We're not talking about such crimes here. We're talking about crimes
that is the
against humanity.
privilege from arrest as part of parliamentary immunity, no? Yeah, yung privilege from arrest as part of parliamentary immunity makes the senators privilege from any arrest while Congress is in session.
While in session.
Is more than 6 years.
Yes,
no?
while in session and
Pero
only if it's a small
yung
crime.
protection naman as an institution, normally it's a matter of courtesy and as a matter of parang respect among and between the three branches of the government. So for example, in this particular case, when they're insisting, on the part of the Senate, they're insisting, they're questioning the official transmittal of the ICC warrant because you need to ensure na it was transmitted officially. So parang mga ganun. So they're saying that may mga matters that should be traced out before they act on the matter. So in the meantime, sinasabi nila, we can give protection to one of our members until such time that certain matters can be traced out.
Ano ko, abitin na ng 14 months?
That can all be done technically, and of course it's not really a matter of law kasi as a matter of law, technically the privilege from arrest is really applicable only when the crime is punishable by not more than 6 years of imprisonment.
Tungkol naman
yung obstruction of justice, that's a presidential decree. It has 4 to 6 months penalty.
Opo.
And ang maganda dyan, pwede kang if it's a public official obstructing justice, pwede kang permanently barred from holding public office.
So may parang
hindi ba dapat kailangan consistent yung government natin? If you're going to recognize which the government has already said it does. It's recognizing the ICC proceedings dahil it allowed naman sa RA 9851, di recognize mo rin yung arrest warrant. So dahil recognized yun ng government, hindi ba obstruction of justice yun na someone is preventing you from carrying it out?
Well, technically, pero sa akin, gray area pa rin eh. Kasi, there may international standard on implementation of ICC warrants. And yung minimum na standard, na yung parang benchmark natin for the standard, are provided for in Article 59. Now, assuming we remain as a member state of the International Criminal Court or remaining as a state party to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, we need to comply with the provisions of Article 59. Now, technically, since we are no longer a party, so technically, hindi na tayo required mag-comply sa standards ng Article 59. But, may opinion din kasi na although we are no longer a member, parang compliance with these minimum international standards of due process as part of the implementation pa na ICC warrant, parang is expected among member states and even on non-member states. But ang importante lang, under Article 59 are three things. Number one, you need to ensure that the person being arrested is the person subject of the warrant. Number two, that the arrest was conducted legally and in a proper manner. And number three, his rights are duly respected. Parang gano'n, no? So when we say his rights are duly respected, we're not only talking of his rights under the Constitution, we're also talking of his rights under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, to which the Philippines is a party. So parang minimum standards ito.
Dean, yung namang usapin ng protective custody, paano nung una nag-agree sila, hindi siya huhulihin, pero ilalagay siya sa protective custody ng Senate under the leadership of Senate President Alan Peter. Tapos eventually, nawala yung protective custody. Wala bang liability yun? Dahil...
technically, he was provided protective custody and, as a matter of practice, pwedeng gawin ng Senate yun as long as it's not done on a permanent basis, no? May purpose yun. For example, at that particular time, only for purposes of confirmation of the process, only for the purpose of ensuring that he is given or provided or ensured access to judicial processes, like yung mga possible remedies niya, the Senate can actually give him protective custody. But when that is done by the Senate, it should only be for such period of time and only for those particular purposes. So it cannot be in such a way na the protective order is done by the Senate in order to let's say in order to assist the member of the Senate to avoid accountability.
Nung nakalabas na si Senator Bato, sabi ni Senator Alan Peter, tapos na yung protective custody nila and he is on his own. Sabi naman ng Malacanang, dapat protective custody, responsibilidad pa rin siya ng Senado. Anong take nyo on that, on those arguments?
Okay. Now, depende po yan, no? When we say protective custody, so ito na, so gray area din to, no? Kasi technically wala po tayong written rules on protective custody, no? So when you say protective custody, did they take custody and, for example, was that with the corresponding obligation that he will be turned over legally to whoever will be entitled to his custody? So yun po yung isang argument. Yung argument naman ng kabilang side naman, it's only to give him protection, during such time that he is within the compound of the Senate. Kasi yung parang dito, yung old na concept ng sanctuary. Basta nakapasok ka doon, either it's an embassy, so parang it's sanctuary, no? So protected ka na. Pero basta lumabas ka, then wala ka ng protection. So ganoon sa kanila. But the question doon, did he take custody of him in order for the purpose of either ensuring that he is presented to for example, to a judicial body that requires his presence. So yun po yung argument doon. So of course, yung sinasabi ng Senate, no, it's not of that nature. the protection was for the protection of Senator Bato, and we did not actually put him in our custody, na parang legal custody na he was arrested by the Senate, and then he will be transferred only to the next body or the next authority that has that should have legal custody of his person. So ang dami po kasi ang dami po kasing mga gray areas in this particular case.
Kung nahuli siya ng
Of course, we see
NBI
learning
the first
experience
time,
for the Philippines, no?
kung nahuli na siya ng NBI the first time, wala tayong ganitong problema, no? Ano yung standing
Of course,
natin?
wala. And of course, especially kung nahuli sa outside, so wala tayong
So, hindi ba? Wala
There will be
na,
no
hindi
issue
naman,
about
kasi wala
protecting
naman
custody and
TRO, di ba? Wala
Oo,
naman
wala,
court
technically.
order stopping it, eh. Di ba?
Yeah, walang TRO, although of course the Office of Solgen has already issued a resounding, assessment of the situation, no?
2 days ago,
Fugitive daw siya.
Dean, 2 days ago, nagsalita si Alan Peter Cayetano. Sabi niya ay dapat isuspend din ng ombudsman si NBI Director Melvin Matibag. Dapat hindi lang yung head ng OSAA, yung security ng Senate. Ano bang weight niyan? A Senate President telling the ombudsman to suspend the head of the NBI na part ng executive. Meron bang weight yan? Can the Senate President do that?
Technically wala. It can be taken as a suggestion or recommendation. But of course, legally, of course, it has no weight, no? Technically.
Okay, we'll leave that there. Thanks so much for talking to us today. Dean Ralph Sarmiento, former Dean of
Thank you. Thank you very
University of
much,
St. LaSalle.
Thank you, Attorney.
Salamat, Attorney.
Ito si Ronald, nagpo-post pa on air. People are waiting for your fearless forecast. On air tayo, but he's posting about a bare majority.
May sinabi ko kanina, di ba?
12.
Dito ko naman unang sinabi, di ba?
13-1.
Ha?
13-1.
12?
Although you say it's 12-1. 12-1.
12-11.
12-11 pala, sorry.
12-11.
Not 13. I'm also seeing that some posts going around saying that si Bato de la Rosa was given the Committee on Justice and Human Rights. I don't know how true that is. Iko-confirm pa natin. But it's already going
Kayo
around.
naman baka may nagbibiro na naman dyan, ha?
Hindi, it seems to be a serious post. Hindi ko lang sure if
si
we need to
Robin-
verify this.
Parang si Robin Hood Padilla, yung basic education.
Education.
Si Camille pa lang ang nakakuha.
Correct. Basic education is Lauren.
Lauren pala,
Legarda.
Lauren.
Culture, basic education is Lauren Legarda. Partial list pa lang kasi yung na-send sa atin ng reporter natin.
At kaya sinuspend yung session dahil
They're still discussing.
ayaw nilang pagbotohan yung kay Marcoleta.
For the Blue Ribbon.
Yung Blue Ribbon.
Oo. Nag-raise ng point yung minority about the Blue Ribbon.
Does he even still want it? Is the question. Does he still want it?
Si Marcoleta?
Oh.
Yes.
He still wants to get back to the Blue Ribbon Committee chairmanship. Para, baka, okay. Maybe if he gets back that committee, baka lumitaw na ulit si, what's his name? Orly Guteza. O di, we could close the loop on that. Hindi ba?
Hope
Hindi na
springs
daw niya alam
eternal.
kung nasan, eh.
Hope
Kahit
springs
siya hindi niya
eternal.
alam, eh.
Yung nagdala kay
According to him, but
He's
remember,
missing.
At yung nagdala kay Gutesa, si Mag Defensor, has his own problem.
he has his own problems. A lot
Hindi
of
rin niya alam.
problems. Marami rin siyang problema. Okay.
So mahaba pa araw natin, Ronald?
Hindi.
Nag-adjourn na
Let's
eh.
wait for tomorrow.
Nag-adjourn na eh.
If there will be changes tomorrow.
Ako ang Hope Springs
Oh,
Eternal
yan,
or ikaw
fearless
ang Hope
forecast.
Springs
Hindi ako,
Eternal?
observer lang ako.
Ikaw ang Hope Springs
Fearless
Eternal.
forecast. At least may isang hindi nangyari ngayon. Yung kinatatakutan ng iba na baka daw hindi na mag-convene yung court. Diba? At least nag-convene.
Convening is the easy part. I dare say. It's the easy part. It's the reading of the rules, going through the procedures. That's the easy part. Wala pa tayo dun sa exciting part ng impeachment trial.
Mahigit 1 buwan pa yan bago mag-formal trial.
Exactly. This part of the process
Tapos
is very
within that 1 month, marami pang pwede mangyari.
Marami pang mangyayari.
You wish na marami pang mangyari.
1 day nga, ang dami nangyari. may impeachment ka sa House, may Senate coup ka sa Senate, no? In just one day.
May impeachment,
Oo, nagbotohan. Same yun, yung coup sa Senate at saka yung impeachment sa 257.
Yeah.
It happened on the
257.
same day.
That's an overwhelming majority. So they were able to get the numbers pretty fast, no? Nung una, may mga questions pa kung maabot ng
Andun ako
one-third.
yung ibang mga congressman, kausap ko, nagiging tentative sila. Dahil nga nabalitaan na nila yung sa Senate. Boboto pa ba sila? Pero tumaas pa.
Tumaas pa lahat. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. We're gonna have to follow this saga as it unfolds. But thanks for joining us on Storycon today. I'm Ami Pomintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lays. Kapatid, we are One News, all sides, all the time. Stay tuned for One News feed, which is coming your way shortly at 5:30 p.m. Keep it here on One News.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
The pandemic really affected the way we cover. And secondly, I think in the last administration, many in media were intimidated, were cowed. And also, let me add a third. I guess it's the advent of social media and the digital space where in a way, it was good that the barriers were broken. Anybody could upload a story. And so social media became like a beat you would cover because a lot has changed, but the core values remain. It's really, we are driven by the search for the truth, by being able to tell our viewers the truth, the best we know at that moment, at that particular time. And also integrity. These values never change. These are the cred of a journalist.